Hello, friends! I'm in a little bit of disbelief right now. Slow clap for EA. That was a little bit quick. But we just got some huge news on franchise mode. If you guys don't subscribe to the NHL EA YouTube account, they post videos on there about NHL 19 occasionally explaining it. That is where this is coming from. But they went out there and they did something. Listen to this. I'm seriously proud right now of EA. I can't believe I'm saying it. They did something that I've actually seen people complain about wanting fixed and added. I mean, as much as I love NHL 1s and I think it's cool that they added that people ask for that, I don't really know. I mean, it's a great feature and everything. But one of the things that franchise mode, we're back to franchise mode. Big news on franchise mode, like I was saying. One of the things being that I play franchise mode a lot, I hear people talk about is the scouting, the drafting, and how terrible it is. And it was downright pitiful, let's be honest. Like, I was just playing a draft the other day on NHL 18, and I was like, man, I can't even see where these guys are, what country they're from. Like, what? Oh, no. And the fact that you can't back out of the draft and there's not a lot of depth, all that stuff's pretty much gone. Like, they wiped drafting clean, they wiped the scouting clean. Engine's gone. There's a lot of stuff they've added for scouting and drafting this year, and honestly, I'm very happy to see what they did. Starting off, they said you can go out there and you can sign up to 20 scouts. Not one scout, 20. You know how it used to be, you go to scouting assignment and it'd be pesty in the calendar and you have to just show up and you pick a country every time, right? And they just scouted for you. No more of that nonsense. Now you actually get to pick 20 scouts. They're going to give you, if you played other franchises, they've got that as well. They'll give you like an accuracy with the scout. Like maybe this guy is an A scout or a B scout or a C scout. Maybe this scout's good with offensive ability. Maybe he can scout guys with a good shot. This guy's got good passing ability, offensive awareness, defensive awareness. You get the point, right? Scouts that have different proficiencies in different areas. And then you also have, more in depth with that. You got to be like, are they good scouting the QMJ, the OHL, different leagues? Where do they do better? All that stuff's compiled into these scouts. You select your scouts. You can scout them. Like I said, you can fire them. Those guys ain't doing a job. You're out the back door. And guess what else you can do? You can scout individual players. How about that? Scout individual players. It's about time. There is nothing that drove me up the wall more than seeing all those players on a draft board and you couldn't really get a direct read on them because of how inaccurate the draft class was. It was like, oh, here's your projected medium, elite, low, medium, low. I never even understood it half the time. People make fun of me for how bad of a draft year I was. It was a complex draft thing that really never was, quite frankly, put together the greatest. It was there. It was understandable if you played enough and everything else like that, but it wasn't in-depth. It was just kind of like hit or miss. But they changed that this year. Like I said, I'm proud to hear that they're changing it. I think I said it proud like 7 times. I've never been proud of EA, I don't think. Hi, you guys. Revive Legacy here. Proud of you guys. Carrying on. The draft class screen, right? Brand new. So much cleaner to start. Like, man, it's a clean looking screen. Not all humble jumbled together. Was just, like I said, I was just doing an NHL 18 draft the other day. It's like, man, it was rough. The projected picks are all messy and everything. But anywho, time on ice. How about that? There's a time on ice. CHL stats are from the draft now. Kind of neat. Strengths and weaknesses. I can't speak. I'm a little excited right now. There's strengths and... How do you say that word? Strengths. I don't know why I struggle with strengths. Strengths and weaknesses for every player. So it breaks down areas he's good at. If he's good at the offense, he's got good puck skills. He's got, better positioning skills. He's good defensively. Good at blocking shots. Whatever. You get the point, right? Or if they're bad at that stuff. So they have that stuff now in the draft. It explains their areas more in depth. There's a personality section for chemistry, which is kind of neat because everybody knows player morale has got a lot to do with if a player can be from a difference from like an 86 to like an 88. And now you got a personality type, how the players fit in with other players, the way they feel about the game, if they're passionate, don't want to be here, Panarin, everybody else on Columbus, or they do, they're a team player and they want to play with anybody, maybe it helps them out, right? And this is where I started to get impressed. This stuff was all great additions I needed above, and then you see something like this, similar style of play. I never thought of something like this being added to the game. You know why? Because I kind of laugh at it when NHL Network does it, but if you ever, I'm sure you guys watch NHL drafts, the NHL Network literally has to compare it. Like, you'll draft the 65th overall, oh, this guy plays like Anze Kopitar. 4th round, 3rd overall, oh man, this guy, he's going to be the next Jonathan Toews, Like, it's crazy that they actually did that stuff. I always thought in the first place, because, we can hope for the best of the players, but probably not going to happen. But they're doing that in the draft now, and it's cool because now, say you're drafting like the 6th overall guy, you got all the info on him, and all of a sudden, like, oh, he's like Ryan Getzlaf. Is that the type of player you want to draft 6th, or would you rather draft a guy that plays more like Tyler Seguin? You know, I think that's cool. I think that was an amazing feature that, honestly, it kind of took me by a surprise, and I like it. Just some small little other features added as well. You see these little binoculars, the bars by the side. The little bars, like, you know, he's got no bars compared to 5 bars. The fuller your bar is, the longer battery life you got. Or in this case, the more accurate it is. The accuracy's, you know, the bars are lower, the accuracy is lower. The bars are higher, the accuracy is higher. And what I mean by that is how accurate the scouting was. You scouted all these guys. Doesn't necessarily mean the scouting's ever exactly correct, right? If it was that easy, everybody would have the best team in the world. You wouldn't see these 4th overall pick busts and everything else like that, right? So now you have the accuracy. If it's a full accuracy and the guy's supposed to be like in the next Sidney Crosby, you got the next Sidney Crosby. If it's like a 1 or 2 bar and you're like, oh, Sidney Crosby, he might turn out to be the next Nail Yakupov. You never know. But I think it's a cool a little feature in there that they added as well. Then another little thing you see them add in there is depth charts. Thank the Lord. Thank you. Appreciate it. The draft screen is it was so vague before, and I just like seeing all the additional stuff. Like, the depth charts is a big thing for the fact that if you're drafting players, you'd like to know what you need, right? And you really couldn't back out of the draft screen without, like, backing out of the draft screen and quitting, I feel like, half the time it seemed like. But now you can just, you know, scroll over to the right, you can see your depth chart. Do you need to draft the center? Well, maybe you have 6, you got 2 in the organization, you need to draft the 7th or something, you know what I mean? So now you get the feature of doing that as well. This was all just quote-unquote amateur scouting, as they call it. So I'm guessing we got more of a feature now where you can have amateur scouting or you can turn pro scouting on, which they called Foggo War? I don't even know if I'm saying it right. But that's a feature now. It's more of a pro scouting feature, which requires you to scout other teams' players as the seasons progress, because you can lose the ratings of players. So let me try to explain this the best way I can. Imagine... Okay, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to... I want to explain it the easy way. As the season progresses, players' overalls and ratings, you know, they change. Just like in real life NHL, if you were to get a roster update, we've seen Nathan McKinnon go for what, like an 89 from like an 86 something, 85? But you couldn't have seen that without watching him play during the season, right? EA wouldn't have given him that upgrade if they didn't see him play. They seen him play, like, here's your upgrade. Kind of like that in franchise mode, where you now have to see the player play to know if they're getting better or if they're getting worse. If you don't scout the players throughout the seasons, like say you want to trade for, I don't know, Alex Killorn. Why not Alex Killorn? It has a nice name. You want to trade for Alex Killorn, you start to see them like an 82 overall, or halfway through the season, he was a second liner. Not really, but he's a second liner, right? Is he a second liner at the trade deadline, or is he falling off a little bit, right? Well, you don't know if you don't scout that player, because what happens is they'll take like the ratings away. The players' ratings will slowly start to disappear in different areas, whether it be, you know, like I said, in shooting, puck handling, skating, whatever. The ratings become either less accurate, they'll start to diminish, where you don't really know if those ratings are accurate until you actually see him play. Whether you throw him on ice on your team or somebody scouts him. If somebody scouts him, then you start to see that accuracy go back up. You know what you're trading for. Like I said, it's a cool feature because, you know, in real life, as a GM, and that's what they're trying to do here, is portray you as a GM. You don't just magically know, like, oh, I'm going to go trade for this player. I mean, unless you're trading for Sidney Crosby or Erik Karlsson, you probably want to see the player play. Whether you think he's got a nice name or, oh, he was good 3 years ago type deal, you don't truly know how good he is until somebody goes out there and scouts him. Like, you just can't look at paper in real life and be like, oh, the paper says he's an 86 overall, I'll take him. Now, you got to send somebody out there to scout him, get your own ratings on the guy, and I think that's a really, really, really cool feature this year. Like I said, that's another thing that kind of took me by surprise, that you would have never really imagined them adding, and I like the fact that they added it. Madden, keep up, boys. Keep up with us, Madden. I know you get some stuff we don't got. I don't think you guys got this. Madden over NHL, am I right? I've seen pretty funny videos about people complaining about Madden. I think NHL, they outdid Madden this year. So far, we haven't played the game yet. We haven't seen how it's going to work. We haven't seen if the computers are going to work and all the other stuff. But it's looking like a pretty good start. I mean, we'll still have to see how the AI does. Maybe the trading mechanism. Still interested to make sure that works somewhat relevantly. I'm still not looking forward to trading 6 first-round draft picks for a guy with a $5 million cap hit because I want them to retain salary. So hopefully they fix the bugs in that as well. All we've seen is a new scouting regimen, and I think it's great. I'm looking forward to playing it. Looking forward to some franchise mode. I know a lot of people like playing franchise mode, and that was a big complaint of people was the drafting, the scouting. Like, it was just so vague, and it didn't feel like you was being no GM or owner of a team because you didn't really have the operations. They added the owner mode, which seems like nobody ever cared about, where you could affect ticket prices and everything else, but it really didn't affect your team at all. It was just kind of there. You wasn't getting fired for lowering or raising ticket prices, right? At least not many people did. I heard some people say it happened, but it was rare, right? A lot of people just turned it off. Well, this is actually a part of the game that actually is part of the game. Like, the part where you want to be, you know, building your team is part of being a franchise. You care less about how much you're selling the popcorn for, but if you want to build a good team, you got to scout for them, right? You got to build your team, and I feel like this is a big step in giving the user more freedom into building that team, into scouting that team. Otherwise, though, guys, that's all we got on franchise mode right now. As always, though, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you're thinking. As always, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.